Hi, welcome back to Super Recaps. Today I will show you a romantic drama film from 2016 called Lady Macbeth. The film starts by showing us the protagonist, Catherine, a young girl who is married to a much older man called Alexander, who lives in the rural area of England with his father, Boris. The family is extremely wealthy. During the first night of the wedding, Anna, a maid, helps Catherine wear a nightdress and asks her if she's nervous. Catherine responds by saying she is fine. Catherine then waits in her room for her husband, who shows up a short while later. He first makes some small talk and then eventually tells her that she will not be allowed to leave the house. However, Catherine says that she likes going out and likes fresh air, but Alexander cuts her off and tells her to strip naked. She does so, but Alexander does nothing and goes to sleep. As Alexander had ordered, Catherine stays in the house, and the house has almost become a prison for her. She sleeps on the same bed with Alexander every night, but nothing intimate ever happens between them, and in the morning her maid Anna wakes her up. Alexander and Boris, his father, don't have a good relationship, and so Boris warns Catherine to never give Alexander a child, no matter what. Alexander comes home late every night, so Catherine tries to stay up and wait for him. She tells a maid to stay in the room and wake her up in case she falls asleep. Alexander then shows up and orders Catherine to strip again. When she does so, he pleasures himself by just staring at her back. Later, Alexander and Boris have to travel away for work, which means Catherine is all alone in the house, along with her maid, Anna. Because of this, she can finally go out without anyone stopping her. She goes out and enjoys the fresh air but hears a commotion, so goes to check it out. It turns out that some workers are troubling Anna, and one of them, a man called Sebastian, says that they are just worshipping a savior. Catherine instantly asks them to let Anna go. However, Catherine also finds Sebastian attractive and invites him to her room the next day. When Sebastian comes, Catherine is scared at first and asks him to leave, but Sebastian forces his way in. Catherine then stops being reserved, and both of them sleep together, thus starting an affair. When Anna enters Catherine's room the next morning, she is shocked to see her clothes on the floor and her sleeping naked, as she has never done this before. Anna calls the pastor, who comes to their house and tries to warn Catherine, but Catherine simply gets up and leaves. Catherine continues her affair with Sebastian and sleeps with him frequently. All of this happens in front of Anna's eyes, but she doesn't know what to do. Then, one day, Anna notifies Catherine that Boris will return soon and that he will be here for dinner. During dinner, Boris asks for his favorite wine, so Anna goes to fetch it but finds out that Catherine has already drank it all. She informs Boris that his wine is over, and Boris shouts at her. Even so, she does not tell him about Catherine drinking it. Eventually, Boris finds out about the affair. He beats Sebastian up and locks him in the house. Catherine gets angry and asks him to let Sebastian go, but Boris slaps her instead. Enraged, she puts poison in his food and calmly sits in another room with Anna, knowing that Boris will die soon. After Boris's death, Alexander writes a letter saying he will not attend his father's funeral. Anna was still doubtful about Boris's death, that's why Catherine and Sebastian are afraid that she will inform Alexander. One night, while Catherine and Sebastian were sleeping together, Catherine wakes up seeing that Alexander has come back, so she quickly hides Sebastian in the room. When Alexander enters, he questions why she's awake, but she just says that she woke up after she heard the horses. Alexander then notices Sebastian's belt on the bed, but Catherine lies and tells him that she found it outside and wears it on her waist. While she is making tea for Alexander, he reveals that he knows the truth. So, Catherine brings Sebastian out from hiding and starts getting intimate with him in front of Alexander. This makes him furious, and he attacks Sebastian, and they start fighting. Soon, Catherine also joins the fight and ends up killing Alexander. Sebastian first freaks out after seeing that Alexander is actually dead. They then bury his body in the forest, and Catherine also kills his horse so that people don't find out that Alexander came back. After that, both of them can't sleep and Sebastian says that he sees Alexander's dead body every time he closes his eyes. Catherine comforts him by saying that she did this for them and now nothing will be in their way. Now Catherine and Sebastian freely start living in the house as if it belongs to them. However, one day a woman, Agnes, shows up with a young boy called Teddy. She reveals that Teddy is Alexander's son and that she is his grandmother. She tells them that Alexander had a relationship with her daughter, but after she died, he raised Teddy all by himself, and so if Alexander is dead, Teddy will be the heir and own all his properties, and she also has documents to prove this. But Catherine informs her that her husband is not dead, he's just missing. Nevertheless, Catherine still has to let them live in her house even if she hates it. Sebastian can't stand this, and he goes back to his own house. Meanwhile, Catherine finds out that she is pregnant and rushes to tell Sebastian, but he gets angry at her, which makes her leave his house. One day, Catherine shouts at Teddy, causing him to run away, and now everyone is looking for him. Sebastian finds Teddy sitting by a waterfall and he brings him back home and tells Agnes that Teddy was about to freeze to death, but Agnes gets angry at him instead. Sebastian leaves in anger, but Catherine chases him and tries to convince him to come back. Sebastian tells her that he had the opportunity to kill the boy at the waterfall, but he didn't. Catherine manages to convince him to stay and then goes to Agnes and tells her to take a rest. As soon as Agnes goes to sleep, they both kill Teddy. Sebastian goes to the forest and cries as he regrets killing the child. On the other hand, Catherine acts innocent and claims that she was sleeping and has no idea how Teddy died. The village doctor is still confused about the death, but then Sebastian arrives and confesses the whole truth. He tells them that he and Catherine killed Teddy and that Catherine also poisoned Boris and killed Alexander just so they could be together. He says he thought he loved Catherine, but he was wrong. However, Catherine claims that he is lying and that it was actually Sebastian and Anna who did all these horrible things. When she turns to ask Anna, Anna stays silent and so everyone blames her and Sebastian. They are soon detained by the police while Catherine lives happily in the house. Thanks for watching. To support the channel, make sure to subscribe and hit the like button and press the bell icon to get new video updates.